So this is our third course module. For those who attended the first one on nutrient management and the second one on indigenous agroforestry. So this would be the third training. So let me welcome the Deputy Executive Secretary of RUFORAM to give welcoming remarks. Then we can invite Professor Kone to start with the training. So Dr. Florence, you are welcome.
Thank you, Prof. Majaliwa. Thank you, the team from West Africa, Wascal, Professor Kone and Professor Chabi for organizing this. But also thank you to the participants who are here today to appreciate livestock and aquaculture in relation to CSA and CIS. Thank you for RUFORAM, and we believe that it is something that can facilitate how we, as universities and other actors, appreciate climate-smart agriculture and climate information systems. It is the third in a series, as indicated by Professor Majaliwa, and we believe that you will have access to the modules after they have been recorded, but also to be able to take them to your individual universities and see what you can pick or what can be adopted in your courses, individual courses, or as standalone short courses, or as examples and case studies in your programs. So thank you very much for coming. I look forward to the discussion today. Yesterday, we had a discussion. Thank you, Prof. Chabi, for that. And I believe this is building on what we had yesterday. And we look forward to a more lively discussion today. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Dr. Florence. So, Prof. Kone, you are welcome to start the training.
Thank you so much, Prof. Majaliwa, and also Dr. Florence, for this opening remark and also for welcoming all the participants. I also want to appreciate also your presence at this interaction with our colleague, and also want to say also thanks to RUFORAM for associating Wascal on this development, and also how we can also continue making our collaboration more successful. Thank you, thank you. I think we have some of the participants now. We can start. I've seen several people were connected. We are supposed to get more, but people will come gradually. I want again to say so thanks to Dr. Shabi, Prof. Shabi, and also Rukawa, and also Valer, who are online, our colleague, all the colleagues online who give a lot of contribution, or main contribution to make this course available for us today to continue providing the learning. This model is coming after the one delivered yesterday, I think by my screen not moving, I don't know. The one delivered yesterday by Shabi, the second session. We have already developed the first session yesterday with the same participant or other participants. And this is also an opportunity to say big thank also to Prof. Majaliwa, who are managing this program close to Dr. Florence. Dear participants, today is we want to share with you the concept of climate smart crop livestock aquaculture integration. I think yesterday, Dr. Shabi took you through a lot of information about the first session. I think he discussed about the rationale of these courses, the model description, and also he shared with all of you the learning objectives, what we are expecting from all of you after our interaction today. When we come for courses, maybe you have coming to fill a gap. At the end, also, you want to make sure that this gap has been filled, or you can go home with something very interesting to share with your colleague and your neighbor. We also share with you all about the first session, livestock aquaculture, the climate change effect on this livestock aquaculture yesterday. And I think normally the course should be delivered in 15 hours, but because of this is the first discussion we are going to have, just to share with you some information, and after we also will let you know how this course should be delivered. There is not only, it's not going to be delivered only if you are going to take some part of it, as already said by Dr. Florence. It's not for you to take it and just go to teach like it is. You have to develop some exercise. You need also to have some practices, some seminar, and also to make sure that at the end of the course, everybody should be able to understand, because you are going to teach this through the university system to the student and also other learners who can come from professional side. This is what I want to say. Before to start, I help Reform. I've already put in place something to see, to record where the participants are coming from, the institution, their names. I want also all the participants, those who can maybe display on a chat if there is any question, or if you can also put your expectation from this second part of the course we are going to deliver. The third part will be delivered tomorrow by also one colleague. I think you will see the third part tomorrow, but today the second part. I want to make sure, Prof. Majaliwa, you are recording all those, you are recording, but you make sure that we have a mapping of where the participants are coming from, different universities. I know some are coming from, let's say, University of Paramaya, Ethiopia. I want to welcome them. Abume Kalavi, University of Bamenda from Cameroon, and their University Futumina in Nigeria, University Evangelique en Afrique, RD Congo, a University of Malawi. I know there will be also more people coming from Haiti. I want also to tell to the participant, anytime you can interrupt me, if like you raise your hand, maybe Reform also can also see if there is any hand raised and I'm not seeing, just alert me. We can give a floor to people to just raise a question and be able to give them a response, adequate response. This is to start. I don't want to come on some aspects. I want again to say for the participant, display your expectation and I will take note. At the end, we make sure that your expectation has been met during our interaction. Thank you so much. So the course is about, we talk about the definition of the livestock, aquaculture integration during this part, definition of model. We give you also some case studies. We talk about what can be the benefit of this economical benefits of this integration, and the limitation also, because everything when we start is dynamic. If it is dynamic, that means there should be a starting point. There should be also some constraints. There should be some limitation, and we keep improving those limitations to make sure at the end you can keep improving what you are doing. So I think also during the course will be in different parts, 5 parts. The first part we talk about some definition. In the second part, we give some case study. We give you more information on the model on livestock aquaculture integration. In the third part, we speak about the case study. And the fourth part, it will be economical benefit. And at the end, we will tell you about the limitation. If also you want to speak in French, don't hesitate. You can raise your hand or speak, ask your question in French. I will also respond to you if you want in French. Thank you so much. I just want to come back on this first part where Dr. Shabi, I want to say again, thanks. We share with you what we are expecting. This model 4 is about climate smart crop, livestock, aquaculture integration. One thing is very important for us, dear colleague. We know if we are all facing this issue of climate change across the world, but everybody of us should be able just to discuss a little bit about this issue with our neighbor, our colleague, and also even if you are sitting at the end of this month, most of you as a civil servant, as a professor, as a doctor, as people working somewhere, or expert, you will receive your salary. But there are most of the people who are far from you. Some are students, some also are farmers, some are working as livestock managers, some are also doing fishing. But those people, they don't have salary. But what they are doing, they are also trying to see how they can feed their family through this agriculture and aspect. But inside this, they are facing a lot of issues. And most of the issues also, climate change is affecting their activities, daily activities. We as a part of climate expert or working in climate area, we should be able to discuss with them to explain to them the small things about that. How many people have you trained so far since, or how many people have you enhanced their skill in climate change area since you are a lecturer in your university? Since you can be in law, you can be in history, you can be in a geographer, you can be also agriculturist, but we need to think about that. We have to do more in our daily activities by training people, by informing people, sharing information. We need to also make sure people understand what we are saying in terms of our activities in agriculture. Doing that, I think, as you see, today is one of these key information we are going to share with you, so you can take over and continue to disseminate what we are doing. And this has been already done through what we call ICRA project. ICRA project is the one where, through the one we are doing this training. I think also you should be able, that means we are not inventing anything. We are taking part of what has been already developed in terms of achievement, and see how this achievement, instead of doing research, doing other activities, we can take this to people who really need the information, accurate information. Our students particularly, the main objective is for us, any students, any people coming in our classroom, any people coming in our university, as learners should be more aware of this issue of climate change, this issue also of climate smart crop, livestock, agriculture integration. This is what we are expecting through what we are doing today, with what we want to share today with you. Sometimes my line can break. I want to just say sorry for that, because we are human beings also. And yesterday, as I said, the learning objectives have been shared on this climate smart crop, livestock, aquaculture integration. What we are talking about is how we can make possible the crop production, livestock, aquaculture, even fishing in the same area. So some of the principles of climate smart agriculture, we want at the end of this, you should be able to explain those principles of climate smart agriculture to improve the sustainability of the system, to more understand some case study, You'll be able also to even develop some case study based on your own experience. You also need to assess environmental health risk from this integrated system, because if you are working in an environment, there should be a little risk, how we can manage the risk, and also how we can work in a way to limit a disaster. At the end, we need also to advise and manage socially and economically about this environmental challenge. So this is the 4 learning objectives. At the end, we want you to be able to explain. So before to move forward, I think after 1 hour, we can have a break. This is what I want also. After 1 hour, at let's say 11:30 or 11:15, we can have a 5 or 10-minute break, and we come back to continue. I hope in 2 hours or maximum of 2 hours and a half or 3 hours, we can finish. This is what I want to share also with you in terms of climate change. Yesterday, I said Prof. Shabi was able to explain some of those things to you, but we talk about also how the global warming works, how also it can affect us through the increment of temperature. Global warming is affecting our activities through the dissemination of carbon dioxide. We have seen also this dissemination, there are some biggest source of greenhouse gases in our atmosphere. It is coming from crops, it comes from fertilization, transport, forest burning. Even yesterday, there is some forest burning in Europe and other places, oil production. But you can see here, agriculture is part of those biggest source of greenhouse gases. So how we can do? We do our best to integrate some system to make sure we reduce also the greenhouse gases emission that is affecting us. So move on that. So now the definition of some of those this crop livestock aquaculture integration. We know we are now doing what we call a commercial food system and also improved food system, integration food system or improved food system. So through those 2 aspects, I want also I want to hear also from our participant what is their understanding about this livestock aquaculture integration before we continue with the definition. Just 1 minute. I want to check also if there is some expectation. Please write down your university, where you are coming from. I think the forum is taking note on that. Anybody to speak? This is an interaction. You are supposed to be also people who are taking over. You are trainers. We are training you. If I can hear somebody speaking, that also can help others. Yes.
My hand is up.
Yes, your hand is up. You have the floor, please.
Yes, this is Dr. Tabi Kingsley from the Department of Crop Production, University of Bamenda, Cameroon. Yeah, so as far as my understanding is concerned, I think crop livestock aquaculture integration has to do with growing crops, having some animals in the place, and a fish pond in the same environment. That's my own idea. Thank you.
Yeah, that is one of the parts, but in the same environment, are you saying at the same moment, or we can do it different in different parts?
At the same moment. At the same moment, because I think the products of the outcome of each, since we are working in an ecological system, I think the products of each of these can serve in the development of the other. That's the way I see it, Prof. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. This is a good idea. I think we take that. If there is another person want to give something, we follow. But We can continue because also the time. Oh, sorry, I have some time. Okay, we know what we are doing sometime in our conventional system. People do monocropping. They also have some. They also growing animals aside, alone in a not in a way where the crop cannot even be touched by the animal. We can see also people are fighting sometimes. Those who are growing animals and also farmers, sometimes there are a conflict. We have also in a conventional system where people are using so many chemical, so many fertilizers. They also are dealing with non-conventional method. So it's very difficult sometimes to get a high production through this conventional system. And one most important thing is it comes with pollution, environmental pollution, and also even the health of those people who are managing the system. Most of the time, they are not aware of how to do best, how to use best the chemical, how to use also the fertilizer. There are some requirements to do all of those things. Also, even if you are doing your cropping system, you can also face the decrease of soil fertility because of this intensive use of some products, some fertilizers, because also you don't know how even to bring or to improve with organic manner your soil, and also you are not using a kind of integrated system. There are a lot of microbes in a soil who are real benefit for your crop. You are not aware of those situations also. So that means at the end, we have a big imbalance in ecosystem where you can see what you are doing. You are taking more from your soil instead of bringing additional things to your soil to make the soil stable. That's why I'm saying is a lot of soil is a live. We are talking about sometimes we talk about climate information system. Soil also is very rich in terms of information. You have a lot of information you can get from the soil because there is also a lot of microbes, a lot of organisms who are living there, who also are integrating, dealing with our system, our food system, to improve what we are getting. Some of them also are the source of parasites. Those parasites also can affect our live crop system. That's why this conventional method need to be improved. So in integrating some other cropping system where we need to improve. That's why we have this integration food system where we did with rotation. We did also how to make a kind of if you have a soil where you want to grow different crop, you see how to make the crop one after the other is a rotation. We see also how in a land system management, you can talk about now how to manage your place to make sure you grow your maize, your cotton, you develop also your cereal at the same moment based on what you know about the soil information system. So there is a limitation. This improvement system is very interesting compared to the conventional method. You can also efficiently use your resources in a soil. You can also improve or maintain the fertility of your soil, and you need also to balance the component in your soil. You know, land use and land cover is very important when you are doing your cropping system. That means this IFS is very important compared to the conventional method, and we need to move on that. For those who are doing also the cropping, those who are doing livestock is very important. Even if you see people who are managing the place where they are developing the livestock, sometimes they can move the animals from one place to another place according to the weed system they are developing in this place. So they can also improve the soil at the same moment doing this kind of movement of the livestock in the same area. We have also, we are doing this to maintain and enhance the fertility, the production of our crop, and also to optimize the utilization of the resource available, because the resources are very limited. They are not available every time also, according to the time or all the year. Some of the resources are available in the rainy season, and also even in the rainy season, according to the quantity of humidity, the quantity of water coming, the resources are made gradually available for our plant. So you'll be able also to produce, if you do the IFS, to produce more and to meet the requirement of growing population. And you also need to see the environment, the social aspect. And at the end, you can also use the organic farming, which is very important also. You can see doing that. It's not accurate, like, it's not efficient like the IFS, but you still have organic production you can use in your farming system to improve the production. But most important is how you can improve your production, and also make sure this production also you can have something to feed your livestock. Because when you produce more maize or more legume or more groundnut, you can take when you harvest it, the rest of the part of the plant should be dedicated to feed your animal. This is very important. If you don't have more, or if you don't have more production, you cannot have more organic or more material to feed your animal at the end. So it's very something where you do the integration, you can save, or you can optimize, or you can also make sure that at the same moment you have increment of the production, your livestock is feeding well, and also if you are doing also this fishing, you'll be able also to get something through how you improve, how you use the product of your agriculture to feed your animal on your fish. So this is again some potentiality we want to maintain. IFS also can maintain the potentiality of the resources in the soil. We talk about also even already this soil system where we have a lot of mycorrhization, for example, is very important. Some of the plants are dealing with our microbe in the soil to give what we call the mycorrhiza. And those mycorrhiza are very important to help the plant to go deeper in the soil to extract the mineral, and also to extract also more humidity, more water inside. So we have also this, so we can mix. We have organic, 75, 25 of inorganic resource integration. We maintain also the biodiversity, it's very important. And also we cannot be facing the residual effect of fertilizer. We talked about this already. In a traditional farming, you will see when you use some of those aspects, you have a slow degradation of resources. You cannot get a lot of profit. We can also have sometimes 100% inorganic resource utilization, where you need to make the resource utilization gradually until you're having 100%. The biodiversity will not be, you have a loss of biodiversity. This is not something we are looking when we do our farming system. We also are facing a lot of environmental issues. So finally, we can say that this crop livestock aquaculture integration is more important in 3 ways. It's a kind of integration of system where we want to make sure we have we make sustainable our agricultural system, and where we be able to produce our crop, the livestock, and also we do fishing, we do poultry, we have also tree plantation, and we can get a lot of benefits, making sure that the livestock can get benefit from the crop production, the livestock also can get, the crop can get benefits from the fish production, and in the end we develop some systems, like you see, for example, the black soldier system, where people are growing some insects. Those insects can be used to fish, for the fish, and after the end we collect from the fish also the part the fish are removing after feeding by the black soldiers. Those are some examples I'm giving. So we don't need to really use some chemical or some how to say, some synthetic product to use for your fish production. It is also based on the concept that there is no waste. There is no waste doing that. You can use what is coming from the livestock to improve your cropping system. You can use what is coming from the fish to improve your cropping system. And also, you at the end, when you harvest your crop, something of this part goes to the livestock and also the fish and the poultry as well. And at the end, you can see the IFS approach is considered to be the most powerful tool for enhancing profitability for farmers system, especially for small and marginal farmers to make them bountiful. This is something very clear. You will see in our farmers. Normally, we are doing this already, but we need what we want to tell you here, how we can make it efficient. If you go in a traditional system, you will see, if you go in a farm, you will see people have maize, they are growing maize, they are growing groundnut. They also have some chicken, some animals, just in a field. Those chicken, what they are doing, they are trying to feed themselves using eating the insect. Some of the insects are useful for the plant, but some are not useful also. Some are very dangerous for the plant, making causing a disaster. But you see, this kind of system is already there, I can say. But how we make it efficient? How we make sure that also some of the animals are not destroying the useful insect for our crop production. But at the end, the animals are feeding themselves by using the insect that can be very dangerous for our cropping system. And also, we produce also some insect particularly for this fish system, like the black soldier I talked about. I don't know if there is any question at this time. No, can we move? Okay, those are the definition. And as a lecturer, as also professors from the university, you can see when people are doing this around you, and also when you are discussing in any of your discussion, you can even raise those kind of issues and be able to explain. So the goal of this crop livestock aquaculture integration, what can be the goal for us? We want to enhance the production per unit of soil, and also we want, that means doing that, we should be able to stabilize the soil. We should be able also to use some crop who are very important so we can improve the productivity. We can also manage the waste. If you want to, after waste coming from livestock, waste coming from fishery, we can manage it well for the benefit of our plant. We can generate a continued income. So that might, if you are using the waste, you will not be able to use your own fund to go and buy the fertilizer. You can also save a lot of money. We continue generating income. This is where we continue to generate those income. And you also, through your production, you will see, you save your money and your production will be more better per year. You reduce the use of chemical and you use also of synthetic, any synthetic product. You can also maximize of the use of all components for your enterprise. This is very important. Some of the time we talk about also, I was talking about the useful animal eaten by the chicken, for example, and other animals like the bees. We also can well manage your soil health, your soil. That's why I said the soil is very important. We are talking about the climate system. There is also a soil system where the soil is so rich in terms of component. We need also to manage it well. And through this system, we can manage well this soil and take all the benefit the soil can provide us. Because if you take even a small pieces of soil, you go to analyze it, you will see a lot of nutrients. we will see a lot of microorganisms. We will see a lot of small animals that are very benefit also for our cropping system. So the soil is so important. We need also to take benefit of this system to improve the soil during the life or during our cropping system. And beyond that, the goal of this is also to see how this crop, livestock, aquaculture integration is so promising that the approach can help us to increase the productivity of the crop and also to make a lot of profit by recycling everything coming from the product. We call the bioproduct. Bioproduct is something coming from our animal or after the use of is a product coming from animals. It can come also from plant, but is also something we generate through the bioproduction process. So, and it is so evident that the bioproducts are very useful for the resource to make our environment safe. So we need to continue this production of bioproduct and make the bioproduct available for our plant, for our animal, for also our fishing product during our fishing production. We also can generate a kind of employ. You have a new opportunity for people who sometimes people don't want to come and do just agriculture, production, food production like it's used to be done in a traditional manner. But if you start doing that, we can have a lot of opportunity. All the year, you can have something to do. You have a cropping, you have animal, you have fishing, and you can have a lot of things to do all the year because depending on the season, you have a lot of things to do. It's also maintain the quality of our environment and the ecological stability. Even after the quality of the environment and the ecological stability, we have also the social aspect because if you are at home every time or you are going, it's different compared to people who are going in the field every day and have something to do. So you improve also your connection with the society because you are not just depending to other person. You can also have your own independence. This is also something very important. We add on this part where we have environmental, ecological, and also social aspect that is very important for us. I continue with the goal of this. Through this livestock aquaculture integration, we also can go through the maximization of the yield of all components in your enterprise to provide still stable income. You can also continue to keep the rejuvenation of the system, the productivity, achieving agroecologic equilibrium. So this is very important also. You can also avoid to build up insect pests, disease, weed population through natural cropping system. Keep them at low levels of intensity. This part is very interesting because, you know, we are dealing with climate adverse impact, climate adverse impact. So how we can reduce these pests and disease and also even the weed. Those are natural enemy of our crop. So using also some organic product, using also some bioproduct, and also most important, if you want, for example, to fight or to control the pest or to control the disease, the most important is not to kill all the insects. The most important is not to kill all the microorganisms who are affecting your plant to create the disease. The most important for you is to reduce the impact of the insect, the pest in your field at the level where you can, those insects cannot affect your production because there is an interaction in our system where those insects, even if they are causing the pest, they also need to feed, they also are using to feed some animals in a natural condition, because we talk about also environmental condition, how we can make this safe. You also need to also reduce the level of the disease. If you have a particular disease in your field, how you can reduce the intensity or intensity of the disease in your field, so you can also continue or you can keep producing despite of the presence of those diseases in your field. It's the same also for the weed, because if you want to use the weedicide to destroy everything, so you are pollute your environment, you can also yourself, you are using this product, it can be also harmful for yourself. So this is where this part is very interesting for us also to know that the management of pests, management of disease, management of weed doesn't mean you kill everything, you destroy everything, but you reduce the level of those particular pests, insects, or the weed in your field, so to minimize those natural enemy of your plant to reduce the production. At the end, you can also reduce the use of chemical and pesticide and make also your environment more safe. It's not about only your environment, it's also about yourself, your children, people who are coming in your field, and also the environment or the whole environment if your field. Because you keep continuing to use the product in your crop to spray the crop. This product is in the environment, it can also affect the livestock you are developing at the same moment. It can also affect the water you are using to grow for your fishing. It can also affect even the water you are using to give to your animals. So all of those things, that means you need to really reduce the use of those chemicals, those pesticides, to maintain, to keep continue using what the nature is providing to you to make this system very useful. I just want to go on some benefit. I think we talk a lot already how those systems are so important, how the different definition, and also we give already some benefit, but we can continue giving to you some benefit. You need to take that in your learning, your dissemination of the knowledge in terms of climate smart agriculture technology. This is very important. How you can improve? The benefit is that the soil fertility will be improved. The health also of the soil will be improved. Your personal health as a farmer, the health of your livestock, the health of your fish will be really improved through this system. We also be able to make some, to raise some fund, and also to create also, or to generate some revenue. This is very important. Revenue generation is why also we are going to the cropping system. If you do your cropping system, you are not able to generate any revenue, you need to change the strategy. But I think you keep continuing to change the strategy until you see the best strategy that can allow you to increase your revenue. And also you reduce the cost of the production, because you will not be able to, you are not going to use every time your own money, because your animal and also your fishing system is providing you something you can use. And at the end, when you harvest your crop, you have something also to give back to the animal to feed them along the year. If you go in some of the country, most of the country, where they are feeding the animal during the dry season, they are using groundnut, for example, when they finish harvesting the groundnut, or when they finish also harvesting the beans, they use also those, the remain of the crop. They use that to feed the animals. This also, there's some of the people even sell it to other person to come and buy it. You can also develop your own system. You can also produce your own weed to feed your animal during the dry season. We should talk about the fishing also is the same way. When you have your pond, the fish are there, you can also produce some black soldier. You can also produce some insect. Those insects are used to feed your fish. And at the end, you develop a kind of circular economy where nothing will be really be waste. You use everything after after another year to make sure that your production can be sustainable. You sustain your production. At the 4 point, you have the decrease. The benefits also is the decrease of farm input requirement. You can also multiply your income generation, your source of income. The family aspect also, income supporting and social aspect. All is not about money, it's about the social aspect. If you are responsible, you are feeding your family by this natural, the soil you are using, the land you have, you need to make sure that this land, when you use the land, you use the land in an accurate way where you can feed your family. You can also support your family. You can also support yourself. This is very important. You use also you use efficiently the labor of the family. So people cannot be doing everything at the same moment. They also can change. You reduce also the feeding requirement for the animal. You minimize the use of chemical fertilizer. And you can see also you can provide balanced nutrient food for the farmers. So that means the land use system is so improved that you can have different crop in your land. You have also different livestock or system production. You also are using this fishery. You can also even produce the honey by using the bees. Those are also some aspects. Those using of the bees is very important because it can improve a lot your production. Those are really very important because the pollination is very important. So doing by the bees. If those who are managing the cropping system with the bee honey production, they can see every time the increment in terms of how the bees have been used, the plant during the flowering time for the pollination. And that can also improve the yield of your crop. You can also avoid the degradation of the forest. Degradation of the forest means that when you are doing this cropping system, you are developing the trees. You also are using a soil which is very healthy soil. In the soil, you have, as I already said, you have some microorganisms for this mycorrhization. So it can also be helpful. And you see how you can manage agroforestry system with crop production. This is very important. You can also enhance the employment generation because through your system, you'll be able to generate a new job in your cropping system. You can also have a lot of what we call the recycling of resources and less pollution. Your environment will be really less polluted. And at the end, you improve the status of your cropping system. The livelihood of the farmers is going to be improved at the end of this kind of system. So let us continue in our interaction with our farmers to explain them how this system is very useful, what can be the benefit doing that, and also how they can protect themselves, to protect the environment, and also make available the food along the year for them to feed their family. Why we need this integrated system? We need it because it's so important. We need to develop it because we want to ensure that we have our income shall be maintained throughout the year. There is a need to do some orientation where during our agricultural practices, we develop suitable multi-enterprise agriculture system. This is very important. Suitable multi-enterprise agriculture system for farmers. A single crop production enterprise are subject to high risk. See, if you have a single crop production, the risk is very high, and you can lose everything if there is any problem, a natural problem. It can be insect invasion, it can be disease. If there is any of those, you lose everything. So if you have this kind of integration, you make yourself or you make your farm, your production sustainable across the year. This is very important to also take to home from this course. Because one example, if you see the disease coming, even if after the raining, when we have some disease in our population, you will see those who are very vulnerable, they will not survive. But it's important to have different age or different kind of population so you can maintain some of those populations alive. This is where we are talking about avoid the single crop production enterprise. So you can have more things to do. You can also you can also harvest every time along the year. You can also have crop production, animal production. It can also be honey production. It can also be fish production along the year. We know also during the year, we have also this irregularity of raining. So it can also help you to avoid, at least to have an income every time. So the second part is the shifting. Why we need also this? We need also, in addition, having an income, a sustainability of production, we need to move from one single enterprise to have an enterprise-based agriculture to integrate multi-enterprise system that will help to conserve natural resources and also to restore to the soil, and restore also the family, the farmers' integrity. Also is how to say, the confidence to the farmers to make sure he can produce along the year. The unit also can increase what he's doing. He can also have the water available for his animals and also food for his fishing production. We need to have this also to mitigate the risk of income, fluctuation of income, to reduce what we call the lag between investment and return. You need to have, when you do investment, you need to have a return back to your pocket and also return back to your society. Return back also to what you want to achieve in the future. You have to have some perspective. So we are doing that also in a way of having the governing idea behind multi-enterprise agricultural system. This is very important for farmers to adopt the system so they can have horticulture, floriculture, beekeeping, vegetable, poultry, duckery, piggery, mushroom, fishing, and also agro-system also production. This is very important. We need also the system to, again, multi-enterprise farming system to resolve that can help us to our entire philosophy can be going to have a sustainable production using the resources and also to have family labor. This is very important also. How we better utilize the resources, how we better utilize our money, how also we manage well the activity of the family in the farm. We also, the farm family gets scope for employment around the year, thus ensuring good income and decent standard of living. This is for the society, I said. Yes. Any question, please? If you are speaking, we are not hearing you. Somebody is speaking. Okay, let's continue. Maybe it's not for us. In, let's say 10 minutes, we have a short break. I was saying that the farm family gets scope for employment around the year and also can ensure income generation and have a standard living, even improve the standard living. It's not having the standard living, but improve also the standard of living. We can also gain the production component, ensure household food security, beside income, production, and also we generate regular income in our field, in our activities. We have different activity in the same place. We can also continue to generate income and also have a kind of production based on the component we are using. So that is very important for us. and the food security also will be achieved. So you can see one example here. I will give this example. We have a picture in this photograph before us. We have a crop production. We have also another picture on the crop production, but you see along the way where we can manage well according to the time to achieve the sustainable goals. We can move to, if you don't want to do the tillage. This is the tillage here. You also can use the cover crop. The cover crop is what we use before even your main crop. So we can also decide, for example, if I have an issue, I want to improve my soil, the production of my soil. I want to improve the health of my soil. I can use some cover crop. Those cover crop, sometimes people can use cabbage. They can also use the rye. They put here, for example, rye. Because if you put the cover crop, the first objective, if you have the soil in the soil, a lot of nematode. Those are the worms, small worms in the soil that can affect your crop production. Using the cover crop the cover crop will release, when you harvest the cover crop, you put it in a soil, it will release some product, is an organic product that also will affect the nematode in the soil. Before now, you do your main crop. For example, you grow your maize, or you grow your cotton, or you grow your wheat. You will see that your production will be improved because you have been able to use this cover crop here. The cover crop will support, will destroy in the soil the microorganisms that can affect, or the insect or another animal that who are going to affect your main crop. But it doesn't mean it will affect the health of your soil, because there are a lot of microorganisms also who are very useful, who might not be affected by this cover crop. There are also some cover crop who can be used to target a specific insect, or a specific nematode, or a specific worm in the soil. So that's why we see, for example, the use of cover crop. We can also go through diverse type of rotation. When you put, for example, the maize, after they have here the corn, after they put the wheat, after they put the clover cotton, and after the rye, after the peanut. In this system, you can see here the cover crop plus rotation. Rye is here the cover crop. The peanut are the crop we are going to use, we are going to develop, and so you buy the production after the cotton also. But there are different types of crop produced not at the same moment, but rotated in a rotative manner, one after another. And after they move to this diverse rotation can help you to well manage your soil, to use your land in a proper manner also, so you can also take a lot of benefits from your soil. And after the rest, after the production, when you finish harvesting, for example, after harvesting the peanut, after harvesting your corn, you can use those parts to feed your animal, and you make also your environment more healthy. If you have you are producing the fish, you will see you are not using any pesticide, and your fish production will be in a very good manner also. So you have also the soil rotation, and also integrated livestock system, and agroforestry and silvopastoralism. People also talk about sometime on agropastoralism. So where you, while you are doing your food production or your agriculture system, you have been able also to develop, to have some animals in your field, so to also take benefit of the presence of those animals, so you can produce more. Those are one example, for example, the mix of cover crop, rotation, integration livestock system for more food production. This integration system has a lot of characteristics. I just want to go through some of them. The first is that when you are doing that, you address two issues. An intensive integrated farming system addresses two issues. One of the issues is you reduce the risk of the monoculture activities, and you promote the diversification, because diversification is very important to make sustainable the generation of your income. The second is also you develop some alternative sources that will be very, very important for the farm resources. You have also other alternatives. You manage better in a very important way the land and also the capital you are using. At the end, you provide a lot of opportunity for effective recycling and also to produce and those products. Even when you finish your fish, you cannot even also recycle your water after the fish are going to be to grow. You can also improve this water. You can also recycle the water in a way where this water can go again in your pond to serve for your fish production. This is the outline at the end, or after that we go for the, it's not the end, but we have to take a few minutes. You have the plant nutrients, the fish, the pond. The fish are growing in a pond. You have the nutrient also. You can also use in a fish pond the residues of the fish pond for nutrients for the multi-purpose of the crop. You can see here the plant will take benefit. You have the bioproduct. You have also your animal. You can use or the animal excreta for biogas production, and also for the fertilizer. You also even can produce the fuel at the end. And also, this also at the end, you have your animal who are very better, produce the meal, and also you can produce your eggs. You can also even produce your honey, as I said, the meat, and also you improve your work. These are some examples: aquaculture, agroforestry, livestock, in the same way to better produce, to better manage the land production, and also to improve, to make sustainable the income generation. The component of the livestock and aquaculture integration here. You have, we already talked about here, you can see the diversification is very important here. But in addition to that, you can see the agroforestry system, where you have some tree you grow, where those trees also are very useful. They can produce the seed. Those seed you can make your sauce. You can also sell them. You can also export even some nuts. Or you can also, through the agroforestry system, you can plant also some trees where you can produce the juice also. There are different kind of production, and crop production also should be very diversified, and aquaculture and livestock also. You see the diversification, how also the different crop you can use for this livestock aquaculture integration. You have the crop, you have the poultry, quail farming, turkey, pigeon, and you can do fish rearing, mushroom cultivation. You can also produce even the wood. You can also do biogas generation. You can also go through the agro system production and have your soil very healthy. Those are some examples in the same place based on what can be benefit from each other, not produce because you want to have all of those things in the same place. You organize in a way where each system can be useful for another system. And at the end, you can get a lot of benefit. You can also develop a lot of jobs in the same place for people who are coming to support your activity. And also you can generate constantly, you can generate the revenue along the year. And your feed, your food system will be improved, your animal production is improved, your poultry system also will be very improved, and also you can have a very healthy environment along the year to do what you want to do. We need to focus for this system on these three, the interdependency between components. This is what we have showed, I share with you, the interdependency between the components, control of household, component interaction. We also need to see how the farmers can also not be affected in socioeconomic aspect, and also the biophysical, institutional, administrative, and technology constraint should be avoided. We also have the farm household is basic unit of the farming system. The farming system, the farm household is very important, is a basic unit, and there is an integration, a combination of all of those systems, one depending on others, so to make really your system more sustainable. There are some information that are required for the decision. You need to have those considerations, the 3 considerations, and also for each consideration, you have the information required. For example, short-term profit, multi-year factor, you have a whole farm factor. For the short-term profit, there are some information you need to have. For example, the yield and the value of the feeding, the input cost, and the output value. This is for the short-term profit. The multi-year factor, you need to see how the rotation can be benefit, and also how nitrogen fixation can be also coming from symbiotic bacteria. You need to have also the residual fertilizer. You need to consider all of those things. The weed population, if you want to go through the consideration of multi-year factor. For the whole farm factor, you need to consider the spatial distribution and your farm size. We need also to see the availability of different enterprise, the labor, the cost of livestock. That's the economic is very important. This is one of the publications we are talking about this, Ewin and Alg. You can go through it also to have more information. For the decision making also, we have to continue the risk. We have the yield variability. This is your yield of the crop will not be the same, and also the yield of the livestock will not be the same, even the fishing also. This is very important, but you need to minimize the risk. The price also, we need to take into account the price. When you are producing, your system has been developed, how can be the best prices to really harvest your crop, or this particular crop should be harvested at this moment. According to the knowledge you have on the market, you can also make the system more efficient. The risk of acceptance is also something we need to take into consideration, because if you are feeding your fish, for example, with black soldier, maybe some of the people will come and say, oh, his fish is feeding his fish with this insect. Some of the people will might not be your client to buy this fish using the black soldier to feed them. If you are also using some of the other system, for example, using organic fertilizer to produce some crop, some of the farmers will say, okay, are you taking into account the residues of those fertilizer in a plant or not? So there are some risks, small risks you need to consider and try to see how you can reduce the risk, and also how you can do some checking to make your system more efficient. How the factor, there are also some factors that can sustain your system. The weed population, persistence of perennial weed population, soil condition is very important. The soil is everything is about the soil, where we are going our system, where we are producing our crop. So let us stop here, for example, after the first part. After, when we come back in 10 minutes, we can talk about the different model of crop, livestock, aquaculture integration. So let's say at the beginning, we give some definition, what is about this system, and also we give some condition. We talk about also how we can improve. We give some case study, and I think at the end, we have been able to share with you some of the risks, how we can improve the system. So let's say the system is very useful, it's very important to do this the concept of climate smart crop livestock aquaculture integration is a very good concept, but we need also to consider that there are some small risks, and also how to deal with that. We need to take into account at the same moment this production should be efficient, and also how one after another we can also produce along the year. And I think this is what we can take out, we can take to home after this first part. Now the second part, when we come back in 10 minutes, we talk about a different model of crop livestock aquaculture integration. I don't know if there are some questions before we go. We give 2 minutes for questions for the participant to react. If not, we can stretch our legs. We can go for
my hand is up, please.
Yes, okay. Dr. Tabi Kingsley.
Yes.
From where, please?
I am from the University of Bamenda, Cameroon.
Okay, Cameroon.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you very much, Prof, for your brilliant presentation. In fact, I think I've learned a lot from here. But what I want to find out is, if I have a poultry farm constructed, maybe half my fish pond, is that a possibility? Is it possible to do that? Maybe say a poultry farm is maybe 1/3 covering the fish pond. Is that some form of integration? Thank you.
Yeah, can you explain more about it? Your poultry farm, you have your poultry?
I'm saying that I have a poultry raised above my fish pond. Is that some form of livestock aquaculture integration? And then I also want to also find out if I have maybe if I have maize growing in an area separate from beans and other things. I'm asking whether in the cropping system I need to integrate all the crops, like mixed cropping. Is it better to do mixed cropping or rotatory cropping?
Yeah, first of all, if you do your poultry and your fish pond, and the way you want to do is, it can be very correct if you can also well manage the system, because you need to see how the poultry or the fish pond will not be get contaminated by the poultry, and you need also to on a regular basis to see how this water in the fish pond is very, very clear, and also will not be affected too much by the presence of your poultry farm. But it can be done like this, but you need to, if the way you want to do it, you cannot change, you need to be very, very, continue seeing how the fish pond cannot be really affected, because the fish are very sensitive. The water for the fish is very, very, should be very, very controlled, and also should not be affected too much by that, because you also want to use after the fish the product of the fish pound to maybe use it for your cropping system. The second aspect about your cropping system, if you want to do it separately, the best way, you know, in our villages, how the people are using, they can grow maize and they put beans between the maize.
Yes.
Most important, if you put a bean close to the maize, the bean is the legume, is also a vegetable. Is also they are producing some of the bacteria, the beans in the roots. Those bacteria are very useful. They can produce also nitrogen. So if you put them together, the maize can get more benefit compared to putting them separately. Yeah, this is the advice, is to have the maize production and your bean production at the same moment, and also where you first produce, you put the beans according to the cycle of your the time you are going to grow your maize. If your maize is 4 months, you can sow first the maize, and when the maize will start growing, you now put your beans. And these beans will be very useful for your maize, because each beans close to your maize can be a source of nitrogen production. through
Okay,
the
Prof.
bacteria in the beans. And this can improve the crop product, the maize production. This is why you need to make them, to put them together. And also, one benefit, if your bean is 2 months, you can harvest your beans to use it before even your maize will arrive. You see, you can also save how you can feed your family gradually.
Okay.
Doing some mixed cropping system.
Thank you very much, Prof. I'm grateful.
Okay. So we come back in 10 minutes, please, the audience.
Okay, Prof. Thank you.
Yeah, 10 minutes. It's nobody should leave. We should. It's 27 past 11. Maybe at 20. Let's say 20 to 12. In Ghana, 20 to 12 in Ghana, 20 to 12 in where to say somewhere universal time, please. We come in 10 minutes. You come back in 10 minutes.
Why should we do that? No,
the meeting is we are on break now. 10 minutes break.
So you're not attending.
I will leave the two off so that they should know.
Is that director also here?
Yes, right now it's a moderator in everything.
Yeah, they take on.
Okay, now that you're doing me now. Yes, no.
What you doing?
It's one present of the circle. You can
That's the woman, the policy, that's Martin.
Yes.
That's how I was saying. That's how I was saying. The woman. That's a new piece of money. That's going to be fat like this. Saying that. You bet me smart. It's smart enough. You see very well. Match is smart enough. Ça fait quoi si j'ai dans les chaussures à mon colo? Oui. Tiens, tu vois quoi, tu peux le faire. Encore, là. On a assez de. Moi, je suis un peu à côté de tout. Si j'ai réfléchi ici, ça fait quoi si j'ai réfléchi ici, mon colo? C'est pour. Ça fait quoi si j'ai le bruit d'avoir un. Encore il pas bien envoyé ma femme. Ça fait quoi si j'ai réfléchi ici dans mon colo? Ah, je vois ma part que je suis. Donc, je dois me manger. Avant, on a just say, il y a des billes. Ouf, non. Bon. C'est pour moi. Ok. All right. Alors, moi, je suis un comme bon. Elle a reçu Baba, ça me dit. Non, mais. Tu as Babas. Ça fait quoi si moi, qui t'ai refusé les choses? Ça fait quoi si je t'ai refusé les choses? Quand il a eu c'est une question. Pourquoi si je t'ai refusé les choses, bébé? Pourquoi si moi j'ai gardé mes choses?
Okay. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, according to your place. We are back.
Yeah.
Yeah. Please, is there any question before we move to the second part? We are now going to talk about different models of this live crop. No hand raised. I think we can move. Yes, thank you also. Thank you again to those who are still with us. We really appreciate your time because it's very important for us as climate expert, also as teacher. Even if you are not climate expert, you are a teacher. You need to have a small information, small knowledge to share with your students, to let them know how is the effect of climate change and also what can be some adaptation measure we have to take into consideration. And on this strategy also of using this climate and smart crop life system aquaculture integration is one of the strategies, one of the response we are sharing with you today among all of a lot of climate smart agricultural technologies. This is one we are sharing with you. It's not the only one, there are a lot, but this is also one of the most important we are sharing with all of you today, and we are happy to do that. So let's move. We have the different farming system model. We have agriculture, livestock and poultry, horticulture, fish culture, poultry. We have a pig farm, fish culture, agriculture, silvipasture. These are some examples I'm giving among others also. They are not, it's not all, there are also some are not here. We have this sericulture, fish culture, sericulture, agriculture, rice, fish, mushroom cultivation, agriculture, dairy, poultry, fish culture. You see here, we even have not said anything about sorry. Hello? Sorry, I've been called. I have to respond. My boss called me. Sorry again. I'm back. So we were saying that we don't have all here. You can see, for example, we have crop production mixed with honey production. We can also have fish production. We talk about poultry production. How we do it also, we also are going to show you how you can do this, some case studies, some example, how we can also do those kind of integrated farming system model also. But there are some who are very, very common. Some who are very common, for example, fish rearing, rice production, and poultry, and horticulture production, and fish culture also. Those are very common. And agriculture and livestock also are very common. So according to now, if you want to improve or you want to do another class, and we can see also most of the people are adopting also this agroforestry system where you have trees. It's not only tree based on what you want to plant, but how useful can be the trees for yourself and also for the environment. Because even if before to put the tree in a soil, you need to make sure that in a soil you have some, again, some microorganisms who can also be useful for the tree. You plant your tree and you see also how they use the tree can be also useful for yourself, and after can also protect your farm. And at the end also you have your livestock production where tree also can take benefit of that. Some people are even starting growing only the trees who can be useful for the livestock. You see, they also can grow only the weed that can be useful for the livestock, but you need to see how you can integrate it and also how you can make your income generation and food production sustainable along the year. This is important for us. So these are one example of chicken coop in fish farming. You see the chicken here. I think this is one example of, you can see this is not current, but you can see in some places where people can put this fish and you have a pound. It can be also moving. It can be moving. It's not fixed, because if it is fixed, maybe it might not be very useful also. It can be moving to make the fish taking benefit of this kind of system. You have also this production of sheet and also the pound close to that. This is also something, it's not usual, but it also can take, people can take benefit of this kind of system. So to improve the production of the fish also. We have the rice production here, and people are growing. They even can do also fish production, and where they, after when they harvest the fish, they can also grow rice, and in a rotative manner also in a land. Land use system is very important. How you can well manage the use of your land to make rotative the production of rice and production of fish, and where the rice can take benefit of after harvesting the fish, you can get a lot of production, and you can move also the fish production in another way. This is a mulberry plant growing on around the pond dikes, which are irrigated with pond water. You will see the pond water are using to just irrigate the mulberry plant, because when the fish are in a pond, the fish also are making defecation. Those are they can also produce organic that can be useful by the mulberry plant. This is one example, a key example where production of rice, and people can use also this worm to feed also the fish. But again, people, you see some of the people will not, they say, okay, you are feeding your fish with that. We talk about the risk. For some of the people, it's not a problem. For people, some people we say, no, it's not easy for me to eat this fish coming from this kind of production, and so and so on. This is one example. We have the pigeons. We have they are feeding here. in the middle, pig and also you have the fish pond, where I think this is an example said by one of the person in the audience, our colleague from Cameroon. And also we have the wooden bamboo shed, and all of these can bring useful condition to produce your pig, and also to have your pig, and also to have also your fish production accurate at the same moment. So those are some examples, farming crop system with banana, and we have a fishery plantation, you have the pig, you have your pound, but in the same land. This is how you use your land, and also how during the discussion, one can take benefit of another. When you are developing this fish pond, you can use the water from the fish pond when the fish have a certain time in a fish pond. You can collect what is there, the reduces also to feed your crop, to put in your crop as organic fertilizer. And after your cropping system, even if you finish your banana, some part of the banana can be eaten by the pig, and so on and so on. So you see how you can improve, how you can also make useful each crop or each animal growing system benefit from another one. For example, this first system, we say pig dung acts as excellent spawn fertilizer, and some fish feeds directly on the pig excreta. This is one example. The second, pond water is used for cleaning pig sticks and bathing the pig. So the bathing is something very important also for the pig. Pond water is used for cleaning pig sties and bathing the pig. Plantation trees as shade for the fishing pond, or planted as further production between orchard trees and prevent soil erosion. You can see how the benefits is not about the production. You can have also some services given by some plant, like this preventing of soil erosion is very important for you to have this system, so you can maintain your soil in a health situation also, and avoid the degradation of your soil also. You will see a lot of examples. Those are also some examples where the fish pond are in the same area. People are growing the trees. They're also making the cropping system. They also have some rice. You see different kind of occupation of the soil that can make the farmer every time using the soil to produce a lot. The plantation crop, vermicomposting, and also apiaries also. Those are the advantage of that. The vermicompost can be used either for commercial or farmer or manual for crop. You know, this vermicompost also, if you are doing it, you need to have, it's not every one you use. It's very important to have the good one for the vermicompost, because if you go anywhere to take any kind of the worm, you will not get a good vermicompost. So this is very important to make sure you have a good one. Honey production also for pollination is very important. Honey can also support the pollination. I talked about it already. For example, you can see some people will grow cashew, or they are growing mango, or they want to have a specific flower for the honey. They make the production first, and also they can put the honey production along the mango farm, or inside the mango farm, or in cashew farm. So they can, during the flowering period, the honey can use this flower of mango to only produce honey from mango or honey from cashew. But you need to make sure that also when you do it, you have a vast land where you have a lot of production of this honey or this cashew. If not, it can be mixed, because there will be around also your farm other flowers, or other flower the honey, the bee will go to collect what they are using to produce the honey. The dog excreta for pound fertilizer, while they get the feed requirement from aquatic weeds. We have also this situation where the aquatic feed can be used also for feeding. And also the dog houses are constructed on pound. Hence, no additional land is required. Sometimes if you have an issue of land, or if you want to make better the use of your land, you need also to go through those kind of systems. It depends, you have to be advised if you are not specialist. You need also to go in other places to see how people are doing this. You can see those examples are very clear here. Maybe if, because land, land security is very important in some of the places. For some of the people, they don't have any issue of land. They don't have any issue of land, but some also, there are issue of land in some of the places, and land security is also very, very important. If you see how people farming, those who are doing only farmers or farming system, cropping system, and those who are doing only livestock, sometimes there are some conflictual situation because of the land, because we are not making the land available for those who are doing livestock. It depends on the decision, also it depends on the orientation of some of the government. But you still need to see how best you can use your land for this mix, or for mixing this system in terms of having poultry, fishery, horticulture, vermicompost in a pig also in the same place. Again, some other example, depending on the crop. Here you have even the mushroom production using banana, some of the part of the banana. So the mushroom cultivation, straw residues for manure, composting, mushroom, poultry, egg, and also hazola, biofertilizer, balanced feed for all cattle, natural fertilizer for rice. So all of those are some issues where we want to have organic source of fertilizer, and also organic source, not only fertilizer, but organic source also of pesticide, of product we are using against pest and disease. And also we can associate also this mushroom production. So this, now we move to some case study of livestock, of crop livestock aquaculture integration. Some case study, because I show you some of the situation, but there are some case study. The case study is about the system we are using compared to the conventional farm, and also in the system, when we talk about the case study, what is the number of land used, the system used, and also what can be the benefit. You can see, for example, in some of the villages where these results are coming, or some of the situation where these results are coming. When you see the farming, we are comparing now the integration farming system and the conventional farming. So you can see in the farmers who are doing only this conventional farming system, there is the production has been affected, because if you see 17.19 in terms of yield compared to those who are using integrated farming system, where the quantity is moving from 17 to 19, is in terms of ton. It's not a kilogram, but it's very important to see that is a ton. That is very important. Yield quantity per hectare. This is very important. And also, if you see the farming system here, where we can move also from 63,000 to 71,000. This is very huge in terms of difference between the different systems we are using. That means we can also, using the data, using the figure, we can convince people how to go about this kind of system. Just instead of doing it theoretically, bringing this kind of figure can also convince people. Here we have a poultry farming where we have 27 of the total meat consumed worldwide average of 5% annually. So you can see how the poultry are different genetically, but also they have been feeding differently. And we have the crop plus poultry system, where the poultry also, through this system, they can also feed themselves using the insects who are not useful, and even all the insects, but most of our insects that are very causing damage to our plant. So it's very important to mix them and to see how we can also feed the poultry during this kind of system, through this kind of system. We have the duck also population in India. Most of the things, some of the examples are in India, production of potential about eggs also production. We have also integrated quail farming, where we don't have too much space for this kind of production. You have a good return, a better return, and also when you weigh the adult and the egg, you will see that the life cycle where you need to do that also where the life cycle is very short, because if the life cycle is very long and you don't have too much space, it will be more complicated. This is also one example where we compare the egg production by duck and hen according to, and also the quantity of water, the protein, and the egg in different systems. And according also to the poultry species, we also do some, we weight also some parameters. So those parameters also can be used also to make a good, to compare better this kind of system, integrated system. And turkey farming also is also important, using white meat in Western countries. Also, how we practice this turkey farming is also mixed according to the institution. Is also some of the institutions are adopted, some are not. But the most important for us is to know, don't go with only one system, have a mixed system, have also a system where you mix the agriculture, you mix turkey or poultry production, and also you mix fishing inside. For example, we compare in a green table, the green table here, where you can see cropping alone, how cropping alone is giving for the crop productivity. You see, only 12,000 kilograms. That's mean, but if you compare crop, if you mix crop, fish, and this cropping system, you mix it with pigeon and fish production, you see how we can multiply. Maybe by 2.5, you can multiply your production. This is also an example to show you how important is this productivity using this integrated system. The same example, if you compare to the cattle and buffalo, the production from 1951 to 2020, you see how the production can be increased according to improvement we are doing along the system. Those also are some key examples for us. The same also here, integrating dairy farming, the total meat production, we take into account those, and we also consider the cropping with dairies. How the cropping with dairies also can be can give a yield increment compared to where you don't do the cropping with dairies. This is also one example. We move from 8,000 kilograms to 10,000, more than 10,000. The second is more than 8,000 to 11,000. Here you give one example is a dairy unit employment, where we have using people who are working Mondays, 190 Mondays. Dairy bars, milk farmers also 300 Mondays. But you see, when you mix this manure and also the unit of rice, and you consider the fallow and the cotton, you can also have a small difference or a big difference according to how you mix it. I think those are some examples already discussed. Integrating goat farming, field experiment or Kabinshala village, conventional method also rice, fallow, black gram is if you put rice and you move to another crop, maybe you have less production compared if you make a fallow using the cotton paragraphs. This is also something important to consider. The same example, according to what product we are using or what component we want to follow, cropping system alone, we also have the same here where you put crop, fish, and goats. The difference is huge. Compare, and this is the bee. When you use the bee, subsidiary occupation, low investment, maize, millet, sunflower, and palm. That's what I was saying about if you want to produce only a specific honey using, for example, cashew mango, here they use maize, millet, a sunflower, and palm also. It can also give you, it can increase your production because of the pollination. The bee, we use the flower during the production, and also we don't need too much investment. For the rabbit also, you can see here how easily it can be, the production rate can be very high if you are using some species. Those are some examples of pound. You see how people can also, in the same space, where they can also use different small land for fish production, and how they can also mix with crop production. Here you have rice production mixed with in a down part, where you have crop and rice production mixed with fish farming. Another cropping system using the sericulture, crop and sericulture. The sericulture is using insect larvae to produce, to have some kind of production. Here is the sericulture people are using to make the clothes after. This is the pig production, crop and pig production example here. So we have also one aspect, integrating mushroom cultivation, edible fungi. Yes, so some of the fungi are very useful, edible. You can mix also the production of those fungi with your crop system. And also you can also use some way where for those fungi who are not edible, as I said already, they are in a soil, a microorganism, and also they did what they, when you want to grow your tree in those kind of soil, there is this mycorrhization system where you have the fungi. The fungi, those fungi, some are edible, some are not edible. They can also connect to the roots of your trees to form what we call the mycorrhizae. And the mycorrhizae are very useful to extract nutrients, to extract also water, and make your plant more resilient in a system where you want to increase the production of your plant. And sometimes the tree, if you want to grow the tree, you need to take into consideration the connection between the tree and the mushroom, this microorganism in the soil. So it can help you also to get better production from the trees. Those are some examples. The cropping with poultry, fish, mushroom, biogas production also, and also you have the goat production, integrating crop, fish, goat, gave. All of these are examples we can take benefit and also cite when you are discussing with your students, because it's important that every single student coming in our university can take benefit of our knowledge in terms of sharing with them what is about this system, who is a climate smart agriculture system. So those are some journals, a very good journal where you have integrated farming system production, zero emission. At the beginning, I told you about how agriculture also is doing emission. And if you produce livestock, you are doing livestock, you will for sure have emission. How we can also reduce the emission and in a sustainable way for small-scale cattle farm. One of the case study here. So we can move now to the benefit, how this system is benefit economically, how also we can take benefit of this system of livestock integration to our agriculture and aquaculture in our daily activities. So this is some table we want to share with you. The table shows clearly that in the first part, we have the component. The component are crops, poultry, fishery, mushroom, and we have the total. If you go to the integrating farming system, you have maybe 0.4 hectares, and you have a conventional cropping system. We compare the integrating farming system to the conventional cropping system. We have the same land, using the same land, 0.4 hectare and also 0.4 here. You see, for example, for the crop, if we can also increase, we have here the cross income for the crop is this, but if you do in a conventional system, the crop system is less. We have here, and the difference is 1,345 in terms of income. If you compare also the poultry, if you compare the poultry in integrating system farm and conventional farm system, you will see also there is a difference. If you move to a mushroom, there is no mushroom production conventional cropping system, but you see the total, for example, if you compare the total here, we have a crop, poultry, fishery, mushroom in the same land. You can see the difference is 5,421 in terms of income we generate. With this small, this is less than half hectare. Using the different system, you have more than 5,000 in terms of income you can generate. That means economically, the system is survival, is very interesting. It can give you also satisfaction along the year when you do the system. The same here also, when you have the farming system, for example, farming system cropping alone, and also using different kind of mixed integrating system, and you see the productivity, the employment, man days per hectare, and also the system productivity. So the net return at the last column is very important. It shows that there is a difference according to if you do it alone compared to if you do the mix. You know, it can move from 1.17 until 21. You see how big is the difference between 1.17 and 21, because according to also what you are doing in terms of integration, how you manage it well, how you consider the recycling system, how this system can be useful for the production. This is also another example to show the cost benefit, because if there is no benefit, don't go through the system. If anything you are doing, make sure that the cost benefit is very important, can give you, generate more income for you, or can make sustainable the income generation for yourself and your family. If you move only for the fish, you see is 1.6, the first column, we have a farming system, fish only, fish pig, fish poultry for the first column. And the last column, we have the ratio. The ratio is giving us the difference between the two systems here, the different systems here. And if you see the fish only, you can see the ratio is 1.06. And if you mix fish and pig, we have almost double. And if you move to fish poultry, is also there is a small difference, even if the difference is not bigger. But that means the fish pig is more efficient. You also have to consider that and see which system is not really sustainable, cannot give you more income, which system also is not useful for you, so you can move to the best one, who is here, fish and pig. We also compare the employment generate mandates. You see, for example, in terms of generation of employment according to a system where the crop, the cattle, the poultry, and the fish in the same way can generate a lot of mandates employment. So, but at the end, you can see the benefit, the additional benefit you are getting is more than 100 here. That means you need also to see how, if you are doing the cultivation alone, and if you are doing the mix, the integration, that give you more employment generate. So that is very interesting also for us to go through this system, so we can also around us, we can occupy a lot of people around us, we can also give more opportunity to people around us. I think this is also the same table where we do also the same comparison between the economical of integration food system and also the difference, the other system. So I have to plug my computer. Give me 2 minutes. I'm going to look for some. Plug my computer. Okay. Sorry. Again, another example, when you use rice equivalent yield and profitability for different components under integrating farming system. You will see in the first column where we have the treatment, the different treatment, and also the ratio is different according to the system you are using. That means where you have integrating system, you can have more production. And also where you integrate fish and other system, the production is very important to see compared to the conventional rice production. So, but anyway, it's very important to indicate that this integrating climate smart technology, which is about the integration of crop-livestock-aquaculture integration, is very important, very useful, but we still have a system where there is some limitation. We need to consider that and see how we keep improving those aspects. I just want to show some to you, but normally this course also, when we do it, we need to, and that's why we said we are going to do it in a short time, short because it's normally 15 hours. Maybe what we do, we use only, let's say 2 hours to do it, but it's not enough. If we have time, we need to plan some visit in a farming system, in a crop, or in a farm, and also where people are producing livestock, and also where people are doing fishing, to discuss with people to see how what kind of challenges they are facing, and also what can be the good benefits, the benefit they are taking from this system. And we know also to organize with other farmers who also need to see where to use this field of the farm of some people as a demonstration field for other person to come and see what is about it. So, but this is a theoretical course that we need you to also continue to disseminate it. For example, the limitation I was saying is the lack of awareness. We are not talking too much about it, but we need. We are not talking too much about it because there is a new for some of some people is not new for some, but we still need to continue using it as a climate smart agriculture technology to be disseminated. You see also the variability. We don't have too much model to show sometimes. If you don't have too much model to say, you cannot continue speaking to people, but you still need to have at least now people are using it. A lot of people are coming to mix livestock and crop production. So this is a starting point. Most of the people also are doing poultry science and use the fish production. And during the fish production, they use also this black soldier also to feed the fish. And there's also a lack of interest. So they rate credit for facilities, because if you want to build something, you need to have the support for the facilities. Non-availability of marketing facility, especially also, is some we need to make sure. We need to do a kind of the feasibility study of what you want to achieve. If you do your feasibility study and you use your fund to make your infrastructure operational, but you need also, in addition to the feasibility study, to see what is about the market also condition. you need to do that. You need to do some investigation, a survey to see how the market is along the year. So you can also be able to produce this part of the production can be sold this part of the year, this part also can be sold this part of the year. We have also the lack of storage facilities. This is also something we need to think about it, how to improve it, because in agriculture, we are facing to this kind of storage. That's why we have a lot of losses, post-harvest losses, and we don't have too much facility for the storage production. And this also can affect the sustainability of this kind of production. But it's very important to know also, it's easy to use some of the facility now. For example, when you produce your fish, where you have a lot of sun, you can easily dry that. When you also produce some of the crop, you can easily dry the crop where you have a lot of sun. We can also use renewable energy system to integrate that in our system. Also using, for example, solar dryer, using the solar system to dry with dryers. Those are some systems. If you don't have money to buy a dryer, or if you don't have any electricity, but you can use also dryer functioning with solar system in your farm to instead of to avoid this loss of post-harvest loss by drying your fish, drying your food using this solar dryer. The lack of education also is very important. That's why we are here also to make sure everyone going home today can also have more information about this system and be able also to talk about it with his neighbor, with also other people, and also with ourselves. We need to keep improving. There are some constraints. In addition to that, the nutritional value of the crop residue are generally low because, as I said, the crop residue are using to feed the animals. We need to see how, what kind of crop to use, but it's not all are not low. Some are really also a kind of protein inside, but you need to see how best, what can be the best crop residues to use, and how we can also mix that so people cannot have, or animal cannot have this digestibility problems. We need to make sure also during the system, we don't use the pesticide. This is what we talk about also. The chemical, avoid the use of the chemical, at least if there is no, because when you go to spread the chemical in your farm, you need to have time because the crop need to have time to also absorb this chemical and be able to make this chemical out of the crop itself. So at this moment, you now need, maybe it depends on each crop. For example, spraying a mango or a tomato and harvest the following day to go and sell it in the market is not allowed, according to what you want to do really. You need to make sure you spray today and you leave at least, depending on the crop, sometimes it can be 1 week, it can be 3 days. So itself to use this and extract it from itself. And so you can now sell it and say that there is less residues in the plant. There is less residue also on the plant you are going to use to feed your animal. All of those things you need to take into consideration. Don't feed your animal with plant that has been treated maybe just the following day or 3 days, or you need to wait. You have also the expensive to poor farmers. Those also are some constraints. Some of the farmers cannot afford everything. So that's also, we need to see how we can make credit or something fund available to the farmers so they can pay this out or reimburse at a low cost. The cross residue also are primary soil regenerators. You see, also these are some constraints, but because we are using crop residue to go and feed animals, but sometimes the soil also need to get some of the crop residue back to the soil so it can improve also the soil itself. Intensively recycling can cause nutrient losses. The farmer prefer use the chemical fertilizer instead of manual because, yes, these are some issues, but we need to convince them. Let's convince people, discuss with them about their health first. It's not about the production, it's about the health issue and also the health of the family. It's also the health of the crop, the fish in a pond is also about the health of the animal you are going to feed with your production. So the investment required also is important sometime, and we need also the digestibility of the crop residues is also very important. We continue with some of the concerns. The lack of appropriate of technology. This is depending on the awareness you are creating. You need to create awareness to showcase. Don't speak, only speak, but showcase also to people that what they are doing or what somebody is doing close to you is very important. You need to see what he's doing, what is good for him, and you need to do the same. You have inadequate training, lack of farmer participation for participatory for research. We need to associate or to discuss with farmers to know if you want to discuss or you want to disseminate some technology. For example, if I have my student, I discuss with my student, master or PhD student. I want them to go and see, investigate more about the use of some of those technology in terms of integrating system. I can say, okay, you go to see how people are integrating livestock to maize production. Another student will go to see, to investigate how tomato production and honey production are going. And so I need to discuss with the students. And when we do the investigation, he comes with me, we identify one good technology, climate smart agriculture technology. We want now to disseminate this technology. We cannot go to impose to farmers. We can have a meeting with several farmers, discuss with them, what kind of technology do you need? What are you doing in your field, in your farm? And this is what we want now to go and disseminate. What kind of technology do you need? Is it possible to do this in your place? What can be the cost benefits? So all of those things, farmers should be associated and make sure that they understand. If it is for livestock production, what kind of livestock, what type of livestock they are producing, what kind of technology they need to make the livestock production more accurate and also have a lot of income generated. So all of those should be discussed with the farmers to make sure it is part. And also the training, what kind of training they need. If is a livestock people and you want to train him on how to do poultry, he will tell you, no, I'm not interested, but you can explain him also, in addition to your farm, your livestock, you can start this in poultry science, poultry development. If he said no, you need also to adapt yourself, continue interacting with him. Never leave the farmer alone. You can also discuss with them every time if he has time to share something with you. We have also the rural infrastructure, the lack, the policy implication. Some of the decision might not be really depending on us. Sometimes the decision maker or policy maker have to take to just ask our community to implement some of the decision. But you have the one who should develop the policy document. If you are doing your student, after a master thesis or PhD thesis, you have a key information you want the decision maker to take it. Why not to discuss, to have a policy brief, a policy document? You now share this policy document with your decision maker so they can also start to see if it is interesting, how they can take some kind of decision to make it operational for people to adopt it. We have also inadvertent avoidance of farm women. Those are also something to be taken into consideration. The social economic constraints. Sometimes it happens that we have some socio-economic constraint. For example, if you have a particular plant you want to grow somewhere to feed your animals, people will tell you, no, we cannot grow this plant here because in our society cannot accept this, or even if you can grow it, it will not give you the benefits you are expecting. So you need to understand all of those things before to move to those situations. You have also inadequate institutional support. This is everywhere. So we are now at the end of our course. I think it was the last part. And we end with this very important part also with the reading list. You can get more information using this reading list. It's not all. This is some few documents, really few documents we are giving to you to guide you to have more information and also to be able to develop your own courses, but based on the outline of what we are giving to you now. This course is very important. It can be used for master's training. It can be used also for bachelor. It can be used for PhD. According to whoever you want to train, you need to see what part of the course you are going to take it. You can also do some short courses. You can also do even the posters to just explain to people, to create some awareness, to explain to people how this livestock integration to agriculture is very important in terms as climate smart agriculture technology. We have some example, it's not all. And again, I want to say big thanks to all of you for your listening. And we can take some question before to give the closing remark by Reform team. Thank you so much. I want to open the floor for 5 minutes to have some question, or if somebody want to give some contribution also, we are ready to take any kind of information you want to provide to us after these courses. Thank you so much. The floor is open. Dear colleague online, the floor is open for you. We have here only the participant from Cameroon, Bamenda. I can see there are more people, but let us hear from some people also. Esmad Yassin, good afternoon. Esmad Yassin, are you in a classroom with us?
Hello.
Yeah, good afternoon. I've seen you since the beginning. Thank you. Any question, any contribution? Do you think it's okay for you?
Yeah, that's okay. Thank you so much for this nice presentation. So you explain everything, and everything is understood.
Okay. Are you going to start using this?
2 years?
Okay. Please, if you have any problem, you have the contact of the Reform team. You can also write to them. If you want any more information about this, let us know.
Okay, thank you so much.
Margaret, Dr. Margaret Namusoke.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Anything to say?
No, I just appreciate this presentation. I thank you very much.
Okay. Is it okay now for you to have some, to take some part to improve your course?
I think some of these ones can be incorporated in maybe in our curriculum.
Okay, this is what we want really.
Of
Please
course,
incorporate tomorrow or today if you have any discussion with your students.
yeah. Their students are finishing the examinations today, and they are going home. They are going home.
But don't leave them to go home. You can organize online course next week with them on this. And next,
yeah, we are
next
going to
start now.
We are going to make some arrangements, Prof. Thank you very much.
Okay, please do that. Do some arrangement. Okay. This is my email. You can contact me also. You can also contact also Prof. Shabi Jagun if is a leader of this topic. If there is anything also, you can connect to us. This is for all participants and also the forum team.
Hello, Prof. I have a question.
Okay.
Yes, please go ahead. Yes, we take two persons. Yes, Okore, and after I will give the floor to Dr. Jagum Shabi. But we move for Okore Ndunkwe. Are you the one who want to take the floor?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, please go ahead, Doc.
Okay. Yeah. It's Dr. Koren Dukwe from Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Nigeria.
Okay. Well,
I'm so delighted to have participated in this training, and you have really opened my eyes to a lot of things, especially on the aspect of benefit cost ratio, because that's what an average farmer or even a researcher will be asking about, how beneficial this integrated farming is. And personally, I want to practice it. And my
oh, the line is breaking there. I'm not sure.
In the pictures, but one may need to really see how it works, how maybe one of them or two of them works practically, so that we can replicate such in my place. Or I'm a lecturer, of course. Agriculture is all about practice, so that one can really practice it and show students, both postgraduate students and undergraduate students. So that's just my challenge. But in the entire course, I think is we are really done justice to it. I really appreciate. So if there is any way one can be called upon or invited to see some of these farms, integrated farms, that will also be appreciated. Thank you so much, Prof.
Okay. Yeah, thank you so much. This is the first test we are doing. I'm sure, Doc, we'll have time to share with you more information about this, because this is the first test we are doing. When we come to share more information, but for now we cannot do practice. If also, so I'm sure if you reform team, we are discussing how also to disseminate these courses. For example, I don't know where you are in Nigeria. We can investigate and see some places around your place. And if, for example, I'm doing travel there, I can go to some of the university close to you or in your university. We can also showcase of that also. Just go around. I'm sure if you go around, you will see some people who are adopting this kind of thing. But it will depend now, the cost benefit, as we said, is very important. How now the cost benefit will be showcased. We need to identify some of those people and monitor them with our students when they are doing the master stage, master internship. So around us, you know, some of the examples are already shown are coming from India and other countries. But I'm sure in our places, the respective places, we have people who are doing that. Just a matter of having one or two students to investigate, to monitor them and see, to collect some data, and we compare the data, and we can also make those places like a showcase place for other families. I don't know if you understand me well or not. Dr. Ndukwe?
Much. I heard you. I heard you very, very well.
Okay. Where are you? Where your university in Nigeria?
Is in the southeast of Nigeria.
What's the name, please?
Nnamdi Azikiwe University.
Okay, I took note on that. The day I will go, you know, We, Wascal, we have people in Futmina. We have also people in Nakure. I don't know if you are close to those parts. We are also with some team from one of our team in AI is from University of Lagos. I think all of those things we see anytime when it comes.
They are all in Southwest.
Okay. Well, you find a way, Doc. No problem.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
Thank you.
I'll get your contact and get more details, sir.
Yeah, I will send my email.
I've not seen it.
Yes, my email is here. You can
Okay.
take
Let me of it immediately.
Yeah. You can just make a screenshot.
Yes.
Okay, let me give the floor to my colleague, Prof. Shabi, if he's in the room. If you want to say something, because I hand over to the forum team for the closing remark. I really want to express my gratitude to all of you.
Okay.
Your time to listen to me and your time also to hear what we want to share with you. And tell you know that this is for you. This is for me, it's for you. We are lecturers. Our responsibility is very huge in terms of discrimination, climate, smart agriculture technology. Yeah, we need to take the lead. Don't wait, take the lead today and start discussing, disseminating, creating awareness everywhere. So we can also make our hand together to make more people aware of what is the issue of climate change and what kind of technology is very accurate for them. I can see also Dr. Gracias. Welcome. Dr. Shabi, are you in a... Okay, Prof.
Okay, thank you.
If you want to add something, I give you the floor. And
yes,
at the end, you give the floor to the forum team. You are the leader of this model. Okay. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Professor. This is just to thank you for saving time to contribute a lot to this model, although your busy time and responsibility. And I would also like to say to the participant that a copy of the PowerPoint can be shared with them on the need. So that's all. I just want to thank all of the participants for really for being involved in participating to this model. And tomorrow will be the session 3 for this model. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Prof. Can you put your email on a chat for them also?
Yes.
Okay. We will share the copy with them. It's important. Yeah, thank you. Thank you also, Dr. Valer Salako. I wish you a very cool. Please, tomorrow, you want to see more participants. Tomorrow is the last day of this particular module, this real technology on climate smart agriculture. And Dr. Valer will also give you more information, additional information after yesterday training done by Prof. Shabi, today by myself, and tomorrow Dr. Valer is going to also share with you more information about that. Please, all of you, don't miss this last part. This last part also will be very important to deliver to you a certificate, because the certificate is not only what I've done today, it's about those who came yesterday, today, and those who are coming tomorrow. So if you just came yesterday, you are not here today, your certificate will only provide you the learning you receive about this aspect of climate change or the first session title. If you are here today, you don't come tomorrow, you will not receive in your certificate the information about what you have done. For all of us, it's very important. Even myself, we keep continuing going for training because it's a dynamic things. We need also to continue hearing others. And tomorrow, we want really to see you disseminate this training. Thank you so much. Now, I want to hand over to Prof. Majaliwa, and say again, big thanks to all of you for your time. Prof. Majaliwa.
Hello, Prof. Hello, Prof. Kone. This is David.
Yeah, David.
Yes, Prof. Now, Prof. Majaliwa and Florence have gone for another meeting. So I think
you don't want to say that they went for eating, eh?
Yeah, so I think I'm just going to send everyone away. But first, I want to thank you, Prof. Kone, and other facilitators for the trainings. This has really been insightful.
Yeah,
so
please let me greet my colleague, Prof. Muringwiwe Crispin from Zimbabwe. Good
It's
morning,
online,
Prof.
Okay.
Hey, Prof, how are you? Thank you so much.
I'm fine. I'm very happy to see you.
I'm very happy you are here today.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
David, you can go ahead.
All right, thank you, Prof. So I think most of the things have been said. Also, what we shall do tomorrow as part of the closing is to have a short evaluation survey where you'll have the participants will have the opportunity to give their feedback about the whole course. So I think let's all turn up again tomorrow. And also, we promise that we shall send you the certificates. We do have our online platform that works now, so that will be done. Otherwise, I think we have come to the end, and we'll see you again all tomorrow.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, participants.
Right.
And the colleague online also. Please, if you start sharing this course, give the feedback to David that you are starting sharing this. It can be awareness creation. It can be taking part of this in your main course when you are teaching the student. Give information back to David from the forum. And also to
yes, Prof. That will be really grateful. Thank you very much.
I'm talking about the colleague online who take part of the course also. Thank you, all of you, and the prof also who are online. It's very important for us to know that you are considering that in your curricular development. Have a nice evening. Okay, bye all.
Okay, bye. Bye, Prof.
Yeah.
أنا كم خيري يوم ذات يودن ده أوكي اوكي بس ماشي